The first time I saw Jake, he was shaking my husband's hand on our doorstep in a quiet suburb of Chicago, his smile a flash of white in the dusk. He was everything Kyle had described, broad-shouldered, kind-eyed, with a quiet, steady presence that seemed to fill the space around him. "Sarah, this is Jake," Kyle said, his voice a complex mix of pride and pain. "Jake, my wife, Sarah." My stomach was a knot of ice. This was Kyle's idea, his desperate, radical prescription for a marriage dying of a wound he had inflicted. A year, 365 days since I'd found the receipt for the diamond necklace tucked into the pocket of his suit jacket, a jacket I was taking to the dry cleaner, a necklace I had never received. The lie unraveled from there. A single thread pulled until the entire tapestry of our 10-year marriage was a tangled heap on the floor. Her name was Chloe, a junior analyst at his firm. It had lasted 6 months. He ended it, he said, because the guilt was eating him alive. I often wondered if he would have ended it at all if I hadn't found that damning slip of paper. The year that followed was a Cold War fought in the neutral territory of our own home. We went to therapy. We learned the right words to say. "I hear your pain. I feel disconnected. Can we explore that trigger?" But they were just words, empty vessels with no emotional cargo. We slept in the same bed, a canyon of crisp linen between us. We parented our 2 golden retrievers with a coordinated efficiency that would have impressed a military general, but we could not bridge the gap between our own hearts. Kyle was desperate. He saw me receding from him, a shoreline eroded by a constant, punishing tide of grief and betrayal. He tried flowers, trips to Napa, lavish date nights at Gibson's. But every gift felt like a bribe, every fancy meal a distraction from the festering truth. Then, 3 weeks ago, he had proposed this. Sitting at our kitchen island, the same place where I'd confronted him with the receipt, he laid out his insane, radical plan. "I need to show you that I trust you completely, Sarah, that your happiness is all that matters to me, even if the source of it isn't me." I had stared at him, certain I'd misheard. "What are you talking about, Kyle? I want you to be with someone else, someone I choose, someone I know is a good man who will treat you with respect, as a gift, from me to you." I laughed, a sharp, brittle sound. "You've lost your mind. You want to pin me out as an act of contrition." "No," he insisted, his face pale but determined. "It's an act of trust, an act of love. It's me finally, truly, putting your needs first. It's me showing you that I am willing to endure my own jealousy, my own fear, to prove to you that you are everything to me." It was the most narcissistic, misguided, and utterly insane thing I had ever heard. And yet, a part of me, the part that was still so angry, the part that wanted him to feel a fraction of the powerlessness and humiliation I had felt, was perversely intrigued. This wasn't a trip to Napa. This wasn't a bouquet of roses. This was him offering his own heart on a platter, asking to be gutted. "Who?" I had asked, my voice dangerously quiet. "Jake Mitchell, an old friend from my Boston days. He's a good man, Sarah. A carpenter. Solid. Kind. He knows the situation. I've already spoken to him." The fact that he had already arranged it, that he had already chosen the man, made my head spin. It was a done deal in his mind. I was the variable. I could say no, but saying no felt like letting him off the hook. Saying yes felt like stepping off a cliff. After a week of tortured silence, I said yes. And now here he was, Jake Mitchell, the man my husband had chosen for me. He extended a hand. His grip was firm, his skin calloused. A working man's hand, not like Kyle's soft, desk-smooth palms. "It's good to meet you, Sarah," he said. His voice was a low baritone, calm and steady. "Come in," I said, my own voice thin and reedy. Dinner was a surreal pantomime of normality. I had made roast chicken with rosemary and lemon, garlic roasted potatoes, and haricot verts. A nice dinner. The kind you make for your parents or your boss. Kyle opened a bottle of expensive silver oak Cabernet, his hands shaking slightly as he poured. He talked too much, filling the silence with nervous chatter about the market, a new client at the firm, a story about one of the partners. Jake listened, nodding, interjecting with thoughtful questions. His eyes, a warm shade of hazel, kept flicking to me. He wasn't staring at my body, wasn't undressing me with his gaze, as I'd feared. He was watching my face, my hands as I twisted my napkin in my lap. He saw the tension, the unspoken agony in the room. When I brought out the creme brulee for dessert, Kyle finally fell silent, pushing the custard around his dish. "This is delicious, Sarah," Jake said, and he meant it. "The caramelization is perfect." "Thank you," I managed. "It's my grandmother's recipe." "A woman who knew her way around a kitchen," he smiled. "A valuable skill. My expertise begins and ends with building a table to eat it on." It was a weak joke, but it was an attempt. Kyle forced a laugh that sounded more like a choke. The grandfather clock in the hall chimed 9. The sound seemed to suck all the air from the room. Kyle's shoulders tensed. He looked from me to Jake and back again, his expression that of a man walking to the gallows. "Well," he said, his voice cracking on the single syllable. He cleared his throat. I should get going. My room at the Gwen is booked for the night." He stood, his chair scraping loudly against the hardwood floor. This was it, the moment of surrender. He walked over to Jake and placed a hand on his shoulder. The gesture was meant to look friendly, but it was a transfer of ownership. A plea. "Take care of her. Don't hurt her. Do what I cannot." He didn't look at me. He couldn't. He just picked up his overnight bag by the door, gave a stiff little wave, and walked out into the Chicago night. The click of the door closing was the loudest sound I had ever heard. The silence that followed was a physical presence, thick and heavy. I stared at the remnants of custard in my dish, the heat of shame burning my cheeks. What were we doing? This was a grotesque farce. Jake didn't speak for a long moment. Then he pushed his chair back slightly. "That was a very good meal." "Thank you, Sarah." I finally looked up at him. "You don't have to do this, you know. You can leave. We can just tell him you stayed. He'll never know." He considered this, his head tilted. "Is that what you want?" I didn't know what I wanted. "I don't even know you." "Then maybe we should start there," he said gently. "Why don't we leave the dishes and go sit somewhere more comfortable?" Numbly, I nodded and led him into the living room. We sat at opposite ends of the large sectional sofa, a vast expanse of cream-colored linen between us. The room was decorated in shades of beige and gray, a showroom of tasteful neutrality. It reflected nothing of me, of us. It was a stage set for a happy life we no longer lived.